Arthur, are you ready to get back on that paper chase?
Ready for some loot?
Listen, we've let ourselves sleep on that paper chase for too long, my friend. It's time to hop back into it, get back on that loot grind. It's Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls, new expansion pack, new beefy, robust DLC for the Diablo 3 role-playing game experience.
Yes, that's correct.
You're reviewing this jam right now.
That's
We're
the
watching
plan.
we're watching you do it, right? We're seeing how the sausage gets made, as it were.
With the bits of lots of monsters, apparently, is how the sausage gets made.
That would that might not be bad. Now
It's
that I
got a,
think
s-
about it.
it's got a
Get
certain
some
fragrance.
so like an artisanal sandworm. So let's I guess cover our bases because there's like a lot to talk about. There's a new class. That's what we're looking at right now. This is a
Yep.
Crusader. Looks pretty rad. Looks
Yes.
pretty sweet. I mean, I guess all the classes look pretty sweet. But this one, I don't know, that big shield does it for me.
Yeah,
What's she gonna
it's.
do with that?
She's gonna smash it into things
You
over
want
and
to
over
hop back
again.
in
Sure.
and get it rolling?
Let's get this party started.
We can sort of talk about all this stuff. There's also a new act. There's a new level cap,
Yes.
which means new skills for all the other classes too. Um, there's a lot. I actually I watched you play this for a bit last night, and made me hop back into it because I think between this and the Loot 2.0 patch, like they've sort of fixed a lot of the stuff that I was not crazy about when the game first launched in the vanilla experience, as it were.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the changes that people wanted, they added last month with what they called the Loot 2.0 patch.
Which basically, in short, I guess just more evenly distributes loot, like good loot, I should say, throughout it. Because I mean, it was sort of a necessary thing in how they changed the economy of the game by
Right.
getting rid of the market and changing how items are sort of bound to your account and shared between characters.
Right, yeah. So the auction house is gone, like totally and completely gone. Not only is the auction house gone, but now legendary and set items are account bound when you find them.
Do you miss the auction house? Because I know how much you love spending real money on virtual goods to get yourself a leg up.
So I never spent real money on the auction house, but I actually kind of liked the auction house. It was just like a neat thing to do, like because you could use in-game gold to try to get cool stuff for cheap.
What was the pushback on that? Because I don't think I played enough to even like experience the auction house. So like, was it just that there was this perception that in order to be like top tier, you have to spend money, like the sort of a pay to win thing going on?
Right. So I think that the thing was that people weren't happy with with what they call the drop rates, which is how often stuff drops. Like
It was
how
kind of a
often-
joke.
Like I didn't really have too much of a problem. I did think that once you got past the harder difficulty level, like the second difficulty level, which used to be Nightmare, it became really difficult to find gear that was appropriate to make it through
Sure.
through the game. And in some ways, this sort of reflected what they said their philosophy was of the game, because before Diablo 3 came out, they talked about how it's super hard, like the hardest difficulty, like nobody's going to finish it, like this is going to be the thing that you guys play forever because it's going to take you that long to actually finish it and find the loot you need. And it turns out that a lot of people got really upset by that, which is interesting because it takes like somewhere around 170, 180 hours to make
Just
it
to
to
get
that point.
just to get to to beat the other campaigns, so you unlock a new
Like,
difficulty
yeah, to go
mode, or-
through the other difficulty modes. It took a really long time. But the point is, like, loot didn't drop as fast as people thought that it should. They weren't getting the stuff that they wanted to see, and they felt like the only way they could do that is through the auction house.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt sort of like gambling in Diablo 2. But for a lot of people, it just wasn't what they wanted out of the game.
Sure.
And
But now they've stripped that out. They increased the drop rates throughout the campaign.
yes,
Regardless of the difficulty you're playing on. I picked up the game and started playing on my wizard, who, I don't know, I got up to maybe like level 20 before I stopped playing the game.
right.
Which is not especially far. And like, yeah, within minutes I was picking up, like, I found a legendary item like no joke, like 10 minutes into picking the game back up.
Right. So the thing about it is they've greatly increased the number of magic items and everything else that drops. They've also instituted a system that tailors item attributes to your character class.
Which, like, yeah, yay. Like,
Yeah.
thank you, Jeebus, for that. Because nothing sucks more than, like, getting an incredible item that you just can't use.
Oh, crap.
What
Oh,
difficulty
crap.
are you playing on right now?
This is on hard, I think?
You gonna level your Templar up, you think? Or you're just gonna let him sort of languish?
No, I'm gonna, like, for the review, at least, I think I'm gonna try to take the Templar, or not the Templar, the Crusader all the way through.
No, I'm saying he has a skill that you haven't picked yet, and it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah. I
Yes,
can do
too.
that.
What are you doing? Have you played this game before?
I have, but I get so, like, focused on smashing stuff.
Yeah. No, I get it. So the Crusader, what's her deal all about? A little bit of healing, a little bit of tanking, a little bit of shield bashing?
No, so the healer is a new tank. Not just a tank, a damage-dealing tank. What I'm getting so far is that she's not an area of effect character like some of the others.
I don't know. She got that tight shield smash thing.
Yes, but it doesn't extend as far as some of the other characters' things.
Sure.
She's a much more accessible character. She's only got...
Grats.
Thanks.
Hey, grats on your ding.
She, sorry, she's only got one mana pool. So she's a little less complicated to use than some of the other characters like the Demon Hunter. She can take a just outrageous amount of punishment.
Sure.
And
I never played the Barbarian, but was that sort of the de facto tank until...
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's actually more the Barbarian was a damage dealer, and the Monk was sort of a damage
heal.
sink.
Oh, didn't he? He has healing abilities too, though, right?
Yeah, but a lot of that is just so that he can take punishment.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas the Crusader seems like more of a balance between those two. She's slower, I think, than the Barbarian is, and maybe doesn't take as much punishment as the Monk can, or like doesn't take as much energy away.
But she's a nice middle ground between those two concepts. You should point out that this is not your first time at the Crusader Rodeo. This is just the review, the final build,
right?
Where you're playing as this Crusader.
I
don't want
played...
people think you're just like talking shit after 12 levels.
I'm not just some noob. Like I played a whole 20 levels. I played about 20 levels on a review beta that Blizzard did, and then stopped because GDC, and also it's the beta. It's not quite the same as doing this. All the content wasn't there, so.
You finished the new act, though, right?
I did.
Your main?
I did finish Act 5 with my main, and we can show that in a minute.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I want to see that. I also really want to see the adventure mode.
Right.
Because that sounds like something I could get into.
Yeah, so the Crusader is a pretty interesting class. It's not the kind of class that I would usually pick. I'm more of a rogue guy.
I've always said that about you. You're very knavish.
I don't think that's a good thing.
I mean, it's sort of like you're like a scamp. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like whenever I see you at events and stuff, I'm like, oh, look at that knavish scamp.
I'm up to some tomfoolery.
Yeah.
I'm a layabout. Yeah, but I'm finding her a lot of fun. She's got a good sort of amount of area of effect control, despite the fact that she's not area of effect damage.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it.
I tried. I played with her for a little bit. I don't know. I think that I'm having a hard time getting into any class that's not the wizard, just because I like those. I like shooting giant beams of death.
Sure, and
huge crowds. That's immensely satisfying.
One of the other things about Reaper of Souls and the Loot 2.0 patch, which is available to everybody regardless of whether or not they buy Reaper of Souls, is that they changed, tweaked, added, and removed skills for every character. There's not a skill in the game that hasn't been touched.
Yeah. I really like the way that Blizzard does the way that they like expand the content of their games. I don't think they have made like an especially weak expansion of World of Warcraft, which I've played a lot more of than Diablo.
Right.
And like not only do those, in some cases, like Cataclysm completely changed the game. Their updates, their free updates, sometimes also like change it as much as other games are changed by like paid expansions.
Sure.
It's
I
crazy.
mean,
It's
more
crazy
than
to me, like
sequels even do. Yeah.
how much stuff they do. Like regardless of what you think about World of Warcraft, like that is not that doesn't even resemble the game that came out what 12 years ago.
Yeah, 10 this year actually.
And wasn't it 2003?
2004.
2004.
And that's the thing. Like, it seems like Blizzard doesn't hold anything too precious.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. Although I suppose, like, a complaint could be made that it's designing by committee to cave so, quote, easily to player demand. But it does.
Sure.
It really does seem like they want to give players a game that they love, that they can enjoy. And it seems obvious to me that most of the major changes that they made to Diablo 3 were in response.
Yeah, I haven't talked
naysayers.
to. I have not talked to anybody who has played the game post patch and post expansion, who has told me anything different than like, oh, they fixed these shits.
Yeah, exactly.
They took them and then they fixed them. And like, I even after I spent a few hours playing it last night, like I completely agree. It's faster. It's more satisfying. It's a lot of the mechanics have sort of stepped out of the way. It feels a lot more like Diablo 2 to me, which, I mean, that's, I think, a pretty good direction to move in.
I think it's still easier than Diablo 2 was. A lot of the instant death and more punitive sort of boss stuff that kicked in on Nightmare and Hell difficulty in Diablo 2 aren't so much around, although they definitely... There are lots of surprises and changes to the way that bosses appear. Including, for example, different minions. Like, it used to be where, like, you'd find a boss monster and he'd have a lot of the same kind of monsters as minions. It mixes that kind of stuff now. And it will group, like, the powerful mobs, like the blue mobs, with boss characters and with purple unique monsters. But yeah, I
and
do
also
think...
the bosses do they get sort of remixed in the adventure mode? In adventure mode, you have to, like, gives you like a little instance thing, and a lot of them have these boss bounties that you have to do.
Right, yeah. Adventure mode is basically every waypoint in the game, because it becomes a bounty location. With, I think, a dynamically generated challenge that gives you blood shards that you use to get new stuff.
I can't, like, I suppose it's not especially surprising since they've been working on that formula for so long, but there is so much stuff in this game, post patch, post expansion, that is like to a T that World of Warcraft style. Like that thing you just explained of like getting these special tokens to unlock like powerful class specific items is a thing that they discovered in World of Warcraft. Like I think it started with Battlegrounds. Like if you won Battlegrounds, you got tokens you could exchange for armor, and it became like a specific way to get a very specific type of armor.
And that actually brings me to another thing that some people aren't going to be thrilled at, which is that there's still not really a sort of balanced form of PvP in the game.
Yeah.
Which doesn't bother me because I was never super into that, but a lot of people were really heavily anticipating PvP upgrades.
Whatever, I don't think I played enough or paid enough attention to the vanilla Diablo 3, but did they just trash the arena plans?
No, I mean, there's, like, you can play against each other. It's just not, the game isn't balanced for PvP play. Like, the characters aren't balanced against each other for PvP. I think that the explanation they gave is that by balancing it as a multiplayer game would hurt the character's fun factor in single player.
Yeah, I mean, you get into that idea of, like, in order to balance stuff, like, you have to nerf stuff. And then if you do that too much, then every class feels weak in the rest of the game. So do you sacrifice, that for competitive play? Or, I don't know. I think more people think of Diablo as like a
competitive or a cooperative experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that the nerfing thing was definitely an issue in Diablo 2, where certain character classes just got screwed from patch to patch, like based on PvP balance. Like they just became much less effective in the campaign. So I appreciate that move. I know that some players won't find it as gratifying.
Sure.
But yeah.
I feel bad for the people who spent hours and hours and hours and hours grinding for like the top of the line loot in vanilla Diablo 3
And got better
then
loot
in
within-
true Blizzard fashion, like the first thing they pick up after the expansion is like 10 times better.
Yeah,
than
they really have everything that you ever found before the 2.0 patch is obsolete. I found literally 1,000% damage increase within 20 minutes of playing, and it didn't stop for a while. Like my DPS as a demon hunter was somewhere in the 35 or 40,000 range, maybe, where I stopped, if I'm remembering, and right now it's 370.
Damn, dog.
Yeah. And like it's not just me, it's every character class has gotten that sort of boost. So monsters die a lot more quickly.
They also explode a lot better.
Yeah, they did some graphical improvements to the game. There's like a bunch of particle stuff that's in there, new lighting. So everything explodes more. The ragdoll and monster explosion stuff is hilarious.
Yeah. Every game should have monster ragdoll in it.
Yes, I agree.
I actually feel it's the one thing I don't like about Dark Souls 2 is they took away like that, like rubbery snake monsters that you can just sort of wrap around your ankles and run around with, like little like little jelly bands. I miss that.
So this is they changed the way the map and waypoints work too, so now it's easier to figure out where the hell you're going and where you want to be. They added a new artisan, who's the Mystic. The Mystic lets you change existing items. So why don't we show that really quick. This is the artisan, Miriam. So the way this works is you take an item, like this, for example, and you put it over here, and you pay gold and crafting materials to change an aspect of it.
Can you choose what the aspect is? I mean, you can obviously choose the aspect you replace, but can you choose what to replace it with?
Yes. Well, so why don't we do it?
Okay.
So this is going to cost me 6,000 gold, which isn't terrible.
Gee, for level 12, that's a lot.
Gold and stash is shared across accounts.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, you got some funds.
As is Paragon levels. So the progress that you're making with your highest level character is contributing to every other character you might create, which is a great idea. Like, this actually makes it so that I kind of want to go through and play with the other classes for the first time.
I mean, again, that's sort of making the game more friendly towards alts is another, like, World of Warcraft,
right,
like, heirloom item thing.
All right, so we're going to do it.
Okay.
And enchanting binds it to your account. That's the big thing with this.
Oh, so once you transform it, then you can't trade it with anybody else.
Exactly. So we're gonna do it. So
are these randomly generated, or is this?
Yeah, I think so. They're still class particular,
Okay.
if they can be. So increase attack speed sounds good. We'll do that.
Yeah, 2%. Whoa.
So this is the new weapon, which still isn't as good as what I'm using, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's more focused toward me, and you'll see increases attack speed by 2% has the little mark next to it. And you can actually keep changing that attribute if you want to.
If you want to waste your money and material.
If you want to hope to get something better, you can keep
Sure.
changing the attribute you enchanted. But once you enchant one attribute, that's the only thing you can ever change on that item.
Interesting.
And so the other thing that she can do is transmogrify.
Oh, this is fun.
And so let's take a helmet, put it there. So you can take that helmet and make it look like any other helmet type that you found. And these four are collector's edition specific helms.
And stupid expensive.
Yes. So it costs 50,000 gold.
Why would you wear that?
Because it's badass.
It's bad head. It would feel bad to have on your head.
Badass. Now
It's like
I'm
a
a unicorn.
Lich King helmet?
It's a death mask. It could be the Lich King helmet. You would know better than I would.
Yeah, I would.
You would. This is kind of neat. I like
Yeah, that's
that.
a good look.
That's a good look for the
Looks like
Crusader.
you got a bat on your head or something.
All right. So there we go.
Can you please dye all of your armor to match Because like you look like Ronald McDonald right now.
Yes, I can go do that. And then we will go to my Demon Hunter and show adventure mode. How's that sound?
Sounds like fun.
All right.
What are you gonna? Are you going with white, huh?
Yeah, well, black doesn't really seem like the Crusaders' bag,
Yeah, sure.
so we'll be pure.
Can you use dye infinitely?
This is a collector's edition die.
Oh, I see.
So
See, look at you now.
oh,
Whoops.
there we go.
Yeah. That looks tight.
Yeah,
Look at you now. Now you look like some sort of ghost warrior.
I'm a hero. All
You
right,
look so heroic.
so let's go ahead and leave the game and switch characters, where I've played entirely too much with the Demon Hunter.
It's a lot of Angeles, my man.
Yeah, so when Diablo 3 first launched, there were weird server issues, and it created the same character a few times when I was trying to log in.
Wait a minute. You're telling me there were weird server issues when Diablo 3 launched?
I know, right? Although
Get out
so
of-
far,
get out of town.
no problems with Reaper
Yeah.
of Souls, so that's nice.
Well, I mean, I would hope not.
So let's jump in and show adventure mode. We can show the environments from Act 5. We won't show any story from Act 5.
Yeah, be careful to avoid those spoilerinos. So this only unlocks after you have beaten Act 5.
Right. And you can see that... oh, there are bonuses in Tristram. That's cool.
What does that mean?
That means that there are special objectives.
Are
in,
these
Tristram.
updated every day or something?
I have no idea. Maybe. So this is Act 5.
We should point out that
Westmarch
we played a little bit last night. We were trying to do a video for it, and we were just like talking about, oh, we're gonna get to this boss and it's gonna be sick, and then you literally aced it in like 3.5 seconds. It was the most
Yeah.
anticlimactic thing ever.
Yeah, that happens.
Because the Demon Hunter's new skill
is awesome.
is bidets.
Okay, so now we have to find this tower. So this is Act 5. This is Westmarch.
So this is just like a little instanced dungeon. Look at those num-nums. That's crazy. I call numbers num-nums when I get excited.
So this is the new power. We'll just sort of
Oh
skip
my
it.
jeez. Look at that. That guy's just called Sepsis?
Yes.
Seems like it's diarrhea, the beast man.
Yeah, that's my new ability. It's called Vengeance, which turns you into a crazy, powerful monster person. I need to change my second ability. I was playing with somebody last night. So the revamp of skills and for every character of every class has sort of had the side effect of really needing to make you like relearn what you're doing.
Yeah.
And also, the new loot system has included a means of making you sort of experiment with the different abilities, because you're getting gear that gives you specific bonuses for specific skills. So if you look at this, let's see here, one of these increases Rain of Vengeance damage, like for this, which I'm actually not using right now. But you'll see that it increases damage for specific skills.
And it also gives you an extra sentry for your sentry ability. That's interesting.
This reduces the resource cost of fire skills, which is pretty useful. You'll see new gems. There are new gems, like lots of new gems. The most powerful gems are now account bound. There's a lot of gear in Diablo 3 Reaper
So
of Souls.
have they
account
just completely done away with the idea of trading and selling with other players?
So you can trade set items and legendaries with people that are in your party when you find it for 2 hours.
That's okay. I mean, that is exactly how World of Warcraft does its review.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Imagine that crossover in a Blizzard game.
I mean, it's like everything. There's so much. I guess that's not a bad thing, because I think that's all stuff that they've sort of refined. Like, you think about how like World of Warcraft launched without like need or greed rolls. Like,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Is that
there's
true?
some pretty incredible changes. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
What are you doing? Don't die. Don't die on the video. You're using that. Yeah, God, it's sweet. Look at you. I don't even know where you are in that mess. You just turned it into Ikaruga on the screen.
It can be a little complicated sometimes. This is a Nephilim orb. If you played the console version of Diablo 3, you'll recognize it. So Nephilim orbs give you bonus damage ability and cause like divine lightning to spike sometimes. And it lasts for a certain amount of time. It increases every time you pick up a life orb. And if you pick up another Nephilim orb, it stacks.
Oh, interesting. So it kind of behooves you to keep it rolling.
Yes. It's another change that makes the game move faster. And yeah, they definitely, like, they really want to keep the game moving, which we also want to do.
Which is another, like, conceptual, like, you want to increase... I have found the game exponentially faster now that I've come back to it, working through, like, the first few acts, because they want to get you... If you bought that expansion, they want to get you to that new content. So, like, why not try and rush you through that stuff? Like, between the loot, the way the skills have been revamped, like, I'm just chewing through the campaign. I actually had to bump up the difficulty because I was like, it was way too easy for me.
So one of the other things they've done for Reaper Souls is completely changed difficulty. They've completely changed almost everything. They totally changed the Paragon system. If you played Diablo 3 before, you know that once you hit level 60, you started earning Paragon experience, which wasn't originally in the game. It's something they added post-launch. But they totally changed the way that works. Now it gives you a point every Paragon level. Wow, that thing
just got 8.
Yes. It gives you a point every Paragon level that you put in a specific column to give you 1 of 4 bonuses. And now Paragon experience crosses characters, which encourages alts because you're never going to be at 0 with anybody. Like, especially early on with characters, that Paragon experience can really make a big difference. Wow, those things really love biting me.
Just be more careful, I guess.
Yeah, so they've also totally redone the difficulty. Like, it's not...
so you can change it at any time, and monsters scale to your level regardless of what you're playing at? Monsters
always scale to your level. You can change difficulty almost any time. It depends on if you have, like, a public game.
Sure.
You can raise it or lower it. Typically.
Wait, what was it before? You had to pick it from the beginning, and then you just... That's what that character was?
So you started on normal, and you had to finish normal to unlock Nightmare. You had to finish Nightmare to unlock Hell. You had to finish Hell to unlock Inferno. And now...
Why would Inferno be worse than Hell?
Because Hell existed before. And Inferno was, quote, new.
No, I get that. I get that, but it's called Hell.
Oh, jeez.
You got this. Believe in yourself.
That's a purple and a yellow. Oh,
it's like the Minnesota Vikings over there. That was a football reference, Arthur.
Oh, really? What is this football that you speak of? It's like soccer?
It's exactly like soccer.
Man, I know that we're trying to get to the boss so we can show it, but I have to open a chest if I see it. I'm sorry, Griffin.
No, I get it. I get it, man.
I can't explain how much it's killing me not to clear the map right now.
I know. Is there anything we've sort of glossed over? Has co-op changed sort of at all since all these additions have been made?
No, not really. I mean, oh jeez. See,
is that boss?
Yeah, I made a mistake.
You do not have much time, my man.
I can't change my skills while in combat.
Just eat him up.
Yeah. So you'll notice that I'm doing just incredibly ridiculous critical hits to this guy.
Man, you are dropping some millions up on him.
And he knocks me out. Sorry, pardon my French. He just knocks me the hell out with his special ability.
Well, don't let yourself get hit with that.
That's a good idea. I should try that.
I mean, that's 101. Don't stand in the fire, dog. You do need to eat a potion, though. I'll be your coach through this. I'll be, like, in your corner, like...
Yeah?
Putting a cold quarter on your eye cut.
This guy could definitely kill me.
Don't let it happen, then. You got this.
It
See, you're
is-
being all humble and stuff for the video, but you have sick Diablo skills.
I died so many times on
Oh,
the
jeez.
last boss. Yeah.
Um,
Bosses are still no joke, and I, like an idiot, I didn't plan for this boss because the Demon Hunter has specific skills that she should be using for bosses, specifically sentries.
you pointed out that the final act is much harder than
Yeah.
any of the acts that preceded it.
So that's definitely what we're talking about. The patch made most of Diablo 3 much easier, but it mainly serves to make the rest of the game a sort of introduction to the just absolutely insane difficulty spike in the second half of Act 5. I went from just rolling over things to getting murdered left and right.
Tempo's about to die.
Well, that's gonna happen.
What's so difficult about it? Is
It just things will do an enormous amount of damage. It doesn't give a damn about your life.
yeah.
Cool. All right, so I killed him, and bounty complete.
Got your little red stamp.
It's a pretty cool stamp.
So what do you get now?
I don't know.
If you complete like a certain number of bounties, you get like bonus stuff, right?
Yeah, so I think you get blood shards that are redeemable for I don't know. So let's talk to Tyrael. Oh, Tyrael doesn't have anything to say.
I think that's it. I think that was the finale. Click the waypoint again. Yeah, so you got a little stamp there in your little stamp book.
Herodric Cache.
You
Bind
know you
to
want
it.
to know what's up in there.
Have I earned that? Where is
No,
that?
no, I think you got to get all 5 of those stamps.
Oh.
Yeah, dog.
Oh.
You can't just be a one stamp Charlie over here,
Well, crap.
getting your one stamp and then you say well crap because now you know how you're spending the rest of your day is collecting stamps like you're on Blue's Clues or something.
Yeah, well, it's that. Welcome to gaming in 2014.
Yeah, it's all about stamps. All right, I think we can probably call it quits. Thank you, Arthur, for running me through this. I guess no thank you for getting me back into
Yeah,
Diablo.
my apologies to. Ooh,
Examine those. We might see Arthur get an
please
upgrade.
Be good, please be good. Oh, difficult
not very
choices. Difficult choices.
Why is that good? Just look at the damage. It's not much.
Right, but
Take
look at
10.
my damage, which is 369,000.
Yeah, I guess 1%.
374,000. It's
pretty
tough
good.
choices.
It's real tough.
Tough
Thank you,
choices.
Arthur. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back later this week with some more videos. Scapegoat 2. So psyched for Scapegoat 2.
That's
you have no
pretty
idea.
cool
This is going to be a great few weeks for goats.
It's been a hell of a month for games, Griffin, and I'm excited to work with you.
Good month for games. Great month for goats. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye.